Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
How is everybody?
Good. How's
Good.
everybody?
Good.
Mhm.
So we decided to do our quarterly joint floss tube.
Yay.
I say it like it's a regular thing. This is the second one.
Yeah.
Let's get through a year and that'll become a regular thing, I guess. So
Right.
my name's Amy and I'm from Mimi Stitchery.
I'm Tina at Tina Stitches.
And I'm Gail from Gail's Golden Needle.
And welcome everybody.
Yeah.
So if you're finding this and it doesn't look like your normal floss tube watch, it's because it's not. So the three of us get together on Sunday mornings and we do a stitch time, and very early on Sunday mornings for them, not as early for me
Right. Very early.
because we are in different time zones, but we enjoy the time. Sometimes it's only about 30 minutes. Sometimes it's about an hour, hour and a half. We enjoy that time on Sunday mornings. I think all three of us do. And nobody's bowed out yet. So I assume everybody's still enjoying the time. So
Yeah.
We are. I do. I
yeah.
look forward to it every Sunday. Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, let's just do cross stitch today. And then I'll do a separate one for my knitting since I'm the only one that really prolifically knits.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just
We
do
can do
cross
that.
stitch.
Okay.
Okay, so if that's your
Okay.
jam, stick along, get something to drink, get your stitching. We're going to have, I have FFOs and whips. What do you have, Gail?
I have one FFO and whips.
And Tina?
Just whips.
Just whips?
Just whips. Yeah.
You didn't pull out your under the bed box?
Well, I did. Okay, but they're not FFOs, right?
Right,
So
they're just finished
they're
objects.
just finished objects. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll maybe do those at the end.
Yeah.
'Cause those are your
Okay.
finishes that are, yeah, stored away, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do those at the end. What do we want to do first?
Well, what did everybody stitch on in May?
Oh my. Well, we're all stitching on the fungi book sale. Do we want to start there?
Okay.
Sure.
So I'll show the fungi book sale.
Yep.
This
I
is,
don't have the cover.
is it Under the Rainbow? Is that who's doing
Living
it?
on the Rainbow.
Living on the rainbow.
Living on the Rainbow.
Living on the rainbow.
And the front and the back cover have been released.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the front cover, for those of you that do not know. This is the back cover.
Oh, good. I don't have that printed.
I have that. Shall we show where we all are? Because we're all in drastically different places, I think.
None of us are caught up.
And some of us have real bad mistakes.
And what size Ada are we all stitching on? Is it 18?
18.
It's 18, right?
I'm pretty sure that's whatever it was called for. That's
Yeah, I think it was 18. I couldn't remember either.
Yeah.
And you guys chose black.
I chose chalkboard.
And I did not. All right,
Probably
you're ready?
smart.
Everybody can show. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
I actually
So
think
you're
Gail's,
a
well,
lot farther than I am.
I actually think Gail's the furthest along because she's got both covers just about done.
Yeah.
Well, there's all
Other-
that fill in,
I know, but look at, I'm stuck on the fill-in on the cover.
but you can see mine's backwards. Mine's upside down, right? Mine's backwards.
That's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have
And so
none
I
of the
worked,
fill-in on
I
the covers
worked
done
this
at all.
this morning to try and see if I could fit that in because I'm one row short here.
Right.
Did you
With-
frog that corner this morning, Tina?
I did. Yeah. Yeah, well, we were talking. I picked the wrong color, and this corner here was the wrong shade of green. So I frogged it and restitched it. Now it's right. Although I don't think that it would have made a difference. It was such a faint shade
Mhm.
change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we're dealing with in all the freaking trees.
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
that one. Yeah.
That one. I have no hope that I'm going to keep up on the sale. So we talked
I
about,
was so surprised this morning when you said, oh, the first page is coming out in 3 days. It's like, what? Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah.
It may be a thing depending on what, I was thinking about this after we got off this morning. It may be a thing depending on what the pages look like, that I stitch in the words and everything on the back. And I keep putting a couple threads in the fill in as we work on the book.
That's what I think I'm
Right.
going to be doing. That's what I'm trying to work at.
Try to
And then
keep
I
it on the pages and go back to the cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
because
figure
it's
on any
maybe
of my
different.
Zoom calls, on any of the Zooms, or if I can take this somewhere, then I can just fill in.
Yeah.
I mean, I
same,
might be filling in on the 4th of July picnic, so who knows?
same. It's also something I can take to work
Hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
fill in at work because it's Ada.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I have all of July off, so there's that.
So you'll be able to race ahead.
All right.
I have half of July off. So
There you go. Yeah,
But my non-edible fit in. I made it fit.
you did.
Yeah, see? So I took off the bullets, you know, the little
Yeah,
bullet
Oh,
before
okay.
it.
good idea.
And I took out one of the little, I guess it's like there's 2 for like a dash.
Right.
So there's just one,
Okay.
which still
Good
reads,
idea.
I think, like a dash,
Yes,
right?
It does, yeah.
it's still fine.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing the over one because it's on Ada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a back stitch. You can see it on this top, I did a back stitch.
Oh, to make the E.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good idea.
I just filled in that square with the background color and then did a back stitch to connect.
Right. That's smart.
That is smart.
I might do that.
Yeah.
I don't like doing the little tiny stitches either on Ada.
And I'll let you know.
I'm
On
not
the-
sure why she called for that on Ada, to be quite honest with you.
I know.
Yeah, because there is back stitching on the letters for the highlights.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I haven't
I don't
done that yet because I haven't
I
decided.
mean, I could see the frog doing the quarter stitches for the details on the frog.
Mhm.
No, you didn't?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
They're going to be 2 little stitches down there, 2 long stitches. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There's a lot of dimensions kits that have a lot of their stitching go outside, like it's just a full X and then the back stitching just makes it defined.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that would work too.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the frog when I get to the frog.
We don't want the frog around a lot. Get that one
No,
over
that put my anaphora screw in a timeout, that darn frog.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, is that next?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I'll do whatever you want me to do. I don't care.
So this is what we're doing.
Yep.
By Rosewood Manor.
Yep.
Oh, freaking trees. And I don't have mine open all the way.
Did you
So
work on your tree one?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I did work on
good.
trees too, so I can do
Nice.
mine.
All right. I love that one. Is that the cranberry? That's the cranberry one, right? It's called cranberry something.
Yes.
Cranberry in Pines by Rosewood Manor.
Yep.
I like that one.
I'm stitching my anaphora screw on 36 count mushroom from XJU Design.
And I'm stitching mine on 32 count platinum Lugana that I overdyed and grunged myself.
And what are you stitching on, Tina?
28 count platinum Cashel,
Okay.
which is the called for.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can hold mine up. I always say I gotta get one of those boards and use a board.
Got one of the boards. I made one of the boards. I made this board. So yeah,
So I did not finish my May homework. I put it in timeout. I will catch it up in June
Or July.
or July. Oh,
I
look,
finished my May.
yours looks good, Tina. Hold that
I
back.
know, that is so pretty.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is the bottom of the heel right here.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So then the rest is just filling in to shape it.
I'd like to say I'm gonna do another one with all the trees, but I'm not.
But
No.
I, does that one have beads though, right?
A ton of
cranberry?
beads, yeah.
Mm,
I do
I know.
love how it's coming out. Like
I do too.
if you just look at, like a little section at a time, like I
know.
See that tree's on here, right
yeah,
there.
Oh yeah.
I've
Yeah.
already put the year on here, so it must be finished in 2020.
I know, I did too.
I put the year right there.
Yeah. Well, it's also the year we started. It sort of, yeah, we started concentrating on this.
Yes, however, it must be finished in 2024.
And I generally do 2 threads. So this is 2 threads over 2 because
Yeah.
I like that saturation. I like it almost embossed. I like that look and feel.
See, I'm only doing 1 thread. I kind of wish I had done 2, but it is what it is, and I'm not going back now.
No,
But yours is a higher count. What is yours again, Amy?
It's 36. It really feels like a 40.
Okay.
well,
Like-
see, but it does show really well.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it plays like a 40. It's saturated.
Oh yeah, that's totally saturated.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks good. But this one, this one tree, I just have to complain for a minute, so just bear with me, everybody.
Okay.
If you don't like to hear complaining, mute me for about 30 seconds. This tree right here. This tree.
Yeah.
The top of this tree should have been right here.
Yeah. If you want to see right, it should
Okay.
be right off of the bottom of that thing, right? Right there.
Oh, yeah. Over about 3 stitches.
Yeah, and I decided I'm not picking that out.
Mm-mm.
No. And there's like 4 colors in here. There's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 colors.
Right.
So
Right.
this is what we were talking about this morning. I had to figure out something small to put like right there.
Just
don't
one of
know.
those little trees.
Maybe a little mushroom or something. And so then my
mouse?
counting
Yeah.
got off. I forgot that this was in the wrong place and my
Right.
counting got off.
It's
So I
a
had
little
stitched.
mouse. You could stitch a little mouse.
Yeah, true. So I had stitched this and this in the totally
Yeah.
wrong place. And then frogged these 2 and recounted off this tree because this is in the right place. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And I couldn't even bring myself to finish this one a second time before I said, okay, it's in timeout now.
I'm done.
See, I think you should put a mouse right here on the other side of where the bunny is, because
I
that owl
probably
is supposed to be
will.
looking at that mouth and saying, I gotcha.
I probably will. I probably will, but that's what ended it up in a timeout. So it's only in a timeout until I get back from StitchCon, I've decided, unless for some reason I'm feeling very strongly about pulling it out. It's going to stay in my bin until I get back from StitchCon. I'm not even taking it with me.
Okay.
That's how mad I am at it right now. But when I get back from StitchCon, I will put it back on the stand and catch it all up.
Oh, I totally understand.
It'll only
We've all
take
been there.
it'll only take me about a week to catch it up. So it'll all be good. And I'll be sick of my other 2 projects while I'm at StitchCon. So yeah.
Of course, while I'm busy, people start texting.
Yeah.
They want to visit. I'm like, no.
No.
We'll see.
Well, I have an open window, so you guys will have to let me know if there's too much yard noise out here in a minute. I will shut the window.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, good. All right. Did anybody work on mirrors this month?
I sure did.
I did too. I worked on 2 of them.
I worked on 4, but I only brought 3 up. I think.
Wow, 4 of them.
Okay, so
Well, I only have one.
you only have one, so you go first, girl.
I only have one here for now. So I'm doing the Cathedral Woods Goddess.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
And that picture is nothing like what it is. It just,
pictures
you
are always
can-
so bad.
That's one of the ones where I would have just gone by it, but the more I see it, the more I'm into it.
yeah.
Yeah, the model. Yeah,
I did change her. I used to have her on a scroll, and I did Frankenstein all my pieces. So I could put it on here so I could definitely bead as I go. So she is going to end up right here.
nice.
Okay.
She looks good.
Yeah.
So I got a few more beads done, but I got all this down here pretty well done. I could not believe I had to go and buy another. I thought I was like, I can't find this one really, really light 900 something. And then I found it in the bottom of the bag that had never been put on a flush drop.
Of course.
So
But you already bought a replacement?
It's always the way.
You'll never need that color again because that's how that works.
right. So now I have 2 skeins of it and I'll never need it again.
Yeah. I have a whole bag of floss.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, and I'm stitching that, should I say? I'm stitching that on 16 count Cypress by Forbidden Fiber Company.
It's a pretty fabric.
Oh, I like that one. Yes.
It looks a lot like Heritage on camera, is it? Heritage by
What?
Pictures Plus is green like that.
I think so, but I think this one might be just a little bit blue or gray.
Gotcha. It's hard
But,
to tell
yeah.
on camera.
Yeah, the Heritage has a little more sage to it, and this is a little more on the cooler tone.
Yeah,
But basically the same thing. I love this fabric. Yep.
nice. Looks good.
Thanks.
Tina, you want to show one?
Okay, so first one that I worked on this month. I have to take the chart off. Actually, I'll show this one first because I have the pattern right here. No, I don't. Ah. Cassiopeia. There's the picture.
She's blocks of color, Gail.
Lots of
These
blocks.
blocks of color.
Yeah. And I am stitching her on oh, I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me, but this is where
Oh.
it's at. And we're not editing, so there is no before.
No.
And I'm
Right. Wow.
working in this area here, bringing the stitching up
That's so pretty.
in that
Wow.
dark.
Oh,
It looks bluer there than it looks on the pattern picture.
yeah.
I think that's because of my light. Like this is, the window is right there.
Gotcha.
And this is really more of a green fabric.
Gotcha.
It is
Still looks good.
Dawn by Picture This Plus, DAWN.
Okay.
Nice.
Very pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah, that's only about a third of it.
That's a dress.
It's a big
Mhm.
one. Yep.
That's a dress.
And it has a lot of Karen water lilies in this one.
Mm,
Okay.
There's 5 of them in this one pattern.
mhm. Crazy. That looks great.
That's about, I think I worked on that one for about 7 days. I haven't really been keeping progress track.
Mm,
Just, I'm sitting down and I'm gonna stitch.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've stopped keeping track of that as well. I've stopped dictating what I'm gonna stitch on at any given time. If I pick out a
Mhm.
project and it's I'm not feeling it, I'll switch out the project even if it only got one length of thread.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much tuning into what I feel like stitching at the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I pretty
Me too.
much just, the theme was Mirabilia. All right, I have a few of those.
Right.
Yeah,
I
so
did
do
too.
I.
I have
So
one.
do I. I was prepared to pull the one out of the garage because I do have one in the garage right now. I have I kept Royal Holiday and Queen of Freedom out, and Lady of the Flag and Tree of Hope are in the garage.
Right.
And I had left myself even open to pulling them out of the garage if so be the case. But
Mhm.
I worked on Queen of Freedom and I've worked on Royal Holiday. I probably will continue to work on them, to be honest with you, especially Queen of Freedom as we go towards, July, and
Right. The
um,
patriotic.
as much as I feel like it. Yeah. I think some of my patriotic stuff is going to come back out. Like I have Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut's on the go. I have quite a
Do
few.
you do much Christmas in July or no?
I might, because I have
Mhm.
quite a few Christmas pieces. I might yeah.
Because
I'm
Royal Holiday would fit there too.
yeah.
Yeah. Your
And
Royal Holiday would definitely fit. Yeah.
yeah, and speaking of Royal Holiday, I did work on her. This is Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. I am not stitching her on the called for fabric. I just don't think the called for fabric here does her justice.
I
No.
don't either.
And I've seen it stitched on the called for fabric in real life, and I still don't think it does it her justice. But to each his own, right? You're gonna have to ignore my strings.
See, that's beautiful.
Nice.
She just pops right
That,
off of them.
yeah.
She is
All her
on,
colors just come right out.
yeah, she's being stitched on 28 count Abyss by Fabrics by Stephanie.
Okay.
And so her head is completely done and beaded. Her wrap up towards her head is all the stitching is done, all the metallics are in. It still needs its beads. Her bouquet is all done. Her arm is completed. And my goal with her right now is, if you look, right here is where the top half ends.
Right.
So I am stitching her down to get the top half completed, because as you can see, I already have a good portion of the bottom half done.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is so close. I mean, a lot of stitching, don't get me wrong. There's a ton of
Yeah.
stitching. But comparatively speaking, she's close.
You want to get down to that, blocks of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because down in the bottom,
Yeah.
these are all like big chunk blocks of color.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
The whisper, I'm putting in a couple of threads at a time. Do you know what I mean? And working that down right now, down her backside there.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, but yeah, you see I have a block of color at the bottom that I've outlined. So if I feel like a block of color, I'll just do that. But I'd like to get her top half completely finished.
Mm.
Are you
So
stitching this
pretty.
in hand? Or
Um, I do stitch her in hand sometimes, but most of the time I have her on a Q-snap with just the side clamps on.
oh, okay.
So I just kind of lay her, because I have beads in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't want to clamp over any of the beading.
Mhm.
Right.
Look at how pretty your head is.
Oh my gosh, that is so pretty.
And
Such
that's two
detail.
over two, right? That's not 1/1.
Nope, that's 2/2.
I know. I'm happy with 2/2.
I am
Flesh,
too.
the skin. Like
Oh, mine
I
is. Yeah.
get that the 1/1 is very
Oh,
pretty.
it does create a different dimension.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just don't mind the 2/2 skin. I don't.
Yeah.
I know.
I have too much to do.
I
Right.
tried the 1/1 skin, and I actually did it on Queen of Freedom. I had some of her face stitched 1/1 and converted it to 2/2.
Right.
So, and you can't tell a difference. You can't. I've shown it close up on a Flosstube. You guys can't tell a difference. There's no way.
Yeah.
Did you go over the stitches on that with the 2/2 over
Yeah.
top of what you
I just
stitched?
took, yep, I took actually just one strand and did
Mhm.
1/2 over the 1/1,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked out just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even tell the difference on the face. I'll show it close up here when we get there. And even if you can super close up, you won't be able to tell on the wall.
No, not on
Right.
the wall.
No.
Mm-mm. What's the next one you're going to show us, Tina?
Okay, this is Queen Mariposa.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where she's at.
Oh,
Oh gosh, look at that dress.
look at that.
Now that's another big dress.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Yeah.
So quite a bit of this is new down here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all those spaces are beads.
Mm-hmm.
That's all going to be beads.
Yeah.
This is 2/2 on 32 count Zephyr by Picture This Plus.
Okay.
I feel like it's getting really blown out, but it's really a really nice bright blue.
Mm.
Yes.
But yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
She got the majority of the time because I worked on that one first and got right into it, and
Mm-hmm.
probably about 10 days of stitching before I switched out
Yeah.
to the next. Yeah.
I think Queen of Freedom's going back on the Q snap as soon as we're done here. I just enjoy working on her a lot.
Yeah.
I will continue to keep working on the Woods Goddess as much as I want to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, same.
Well, see, this one is on a light fabric, so it's a lot easier to work on. Cassiopeia is a dark fabric.
Yeah.
So not as enjoyable, but I did get myself a magnifying light.
Mm.
So that made it a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
saw some spaces where I went over one thread instead of over two,
Oh.
but oh well.
That's great.
Oh well.
Oh well, it's so far back, I'm not gonna fix it. If I was using the same color thread, I might go over it that extra time, but it's not worth it.
Mm-mm.
Nope. The next one I worked on was Queen of Freedom. I am stitching this on We the People 30 count by Primitive Hair. I'm nowhere near as far along on her. She really needs some more love,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where I'm at.
So pretty.
See, you can't tell on that face.
Mm-mm.
You can't tell that I did anything different to her.
No.
I'm telling you, up close, you can't even tell. Like I'm looking at it going, did I?
And that's the one that was 1/1.
This was 1/1. Now, not all of her face, but a good portion of it. I just want to show it really close so everybody can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't tell.
Can't tell where it
Not
was.
tell.
No.
Nope. She really needs some more work. I'd love to get her head completely done, get the back stitching. I like it when they get a face and then I'm more motivated.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
See, and mine are headless for however long. Look at her. She's body, no head.
Yeah, I noticed that. You do a lot of headless ones.
Because I start in the middle and I just go wherever it's comfortable to go.
Yeah, so Royal Holiday, I started in the middle and I worked my way up to the head. And that's why it's so patchy, you know what I mean, going down through her
Right.
dresses because I was trying to work up to her head. This one I had to start head first because I need to position her head in a specific place in regards to the We the People.
Right. The
Right.
fabric.
Right,
Yeah.
because of the
Like
fabric.
we talked about this morning. When this gets framed, this will be one big mama jama.
Yeah.
So, so I had to start her head first. And I just like it when they have a face. When I started Lady of the Flag, I had to start her in the center too. So when she comes back out of the garage sometime, I'll have to work up to her face and get her face in too. You have another Mira?
I do. Zippers, sorry. This one, I don't know if this one's available anymore or not. I keep meaning to check. This is Adia the Garden Fairy.
Hmm.
And I am stitching this one. I always have to look because I can never remember. And then as soon as I pick it up, Huntress, I picture this plus.
Oh gosh, look at that color.
Ooh,
Gail, that's right up your alley, man.
sure is. Wow. Pull back a little bit,
Yeah.
Tina. You can really see the fabric. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it's showing up right because it's a really dark burgundy
It did when you
purple.
first pulled it up. Yeah, it was just like,
It did when you first pulled it up and then the lighting changed.
Let's see if we can get that to
There you go.
autocorrect again.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that is some great fabric.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome on that.
And this is another one where it's really dark fabric, and under the magnifier, I noticed it's stitched over one thread instead of two in some spots. But I can't see it now, so if
Yeah.
anybody can spot it, good on them.
Real holiday, I have to use a magnifier too because of that dark fabric. If I don't use a
Yeah.
magnifier, I tend to miss that second thread, even though it's Lugana.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot remember when I started these. I think I started them all actually in May of 21. These were all started.
Gail, do you have any more whips?
I have, let's see. That I worked on in May? No, I just have one that I picked up today for June. So I am working on, because for June, I want to do some of my full coverage. So I went with an easy one.
I like how you make a face when you say that, like it's a bad decision.
I'm just still trying to figure out full coverage and what to do with it. So this is from Country Magic Stitch, and it's Visit the Wall.
Oh yeah. I
Oh
remember.
yeah.
You started this
Yeah.
last year.
Yep. And it's, June is supposed to be Game of Thrones spinoff. House of Dragon is supposed to start up again this month.
Right.
So, in celebration of that, this is where I'm at. So, I
There you
did
go.
work a little bit here, fill in, and then I'm starting to fill in down this tower.
Right.
So, and then I'd like to go back in and do some more of the tree and the crow, and then get to that point where, like I said, I'm just filling in. Try and get some more of that. So,
What size fabric is that?
this is 18 count Ada. White Ada, 18 count. Right? Right. Mm-hmm. So it'll end up being like 7.5 by 10, something like that. It'll be small.
Yeah, it's 2/1 or 2/2, right? No,
2/1.
No,
Ada.
be over one. Yeah.
2/1. So yeah, I am doing the 2. This was before I realized and had conversations with you all about the tent stitch. So, but I am doing the 2. So I still have a lot to do. I mean, that's only this little part right there. A lot to do. Oh, I did count it up. It's 22,528 stitches.
That's small. That's small. So small. So small. I have coverage that are 550,000 stitches.
Stitching shelf has more than that stitched on it. Right?
Yes, I know. I was telling Gail this morning, I think you missed it. Or I was telling Tina this morning, I think Gail missed it. I haven't stitched on any of my full coverage at all this month at all. Nothing. Nothing. But the first 2 weeks of May is crazy for me with
Right.
graduation and
Yeah.
end of the semester, and it is absolutely crazy. So I'm not really surprised, but I probably should pull out one of those 550,000 stitch pieces and give it some love in June.
Yeah.
That's 500,000. Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't have one project like that. I have several. I have World
Look
Disney,
at that.
I have stitching shelf. I have the other shelf that came out. Which one is it? Oh, Grand Library.
Right.
And what about the Mickey Mouse one?
Yeah,
The
the
Disney
Disney
one.
one is huge. It's like 600
Huge.
some odd thousand.
Okay, yeah, right. That one is
Yeah.
like
Like not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime. But they're fun anyway. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I only have one more whip. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show you a finished picture. How many do you have, Tina?
I have 2, 3 that I'm
Okay,
gonna
you
show.
show one.
So speaking of stitching shelf,
Oh, there you go.
here's where I'm at.
She's so dedicated. Look at that.
I know. She has done so much on this one.
I've
Wow.
been mainly focusing on this pair of scissors and trying to fill in around it.
Mm. That looks so good.
It does.
I really need to pull mine back out.
And
Okay, and now are you guys
soon,
doing the max?
Max
max-
color regular size.
Yeah, max color
Max
regular
color
size.
regular size. Okay.
For both
Yeah.
Grand Library and that one, it's max color regular size for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the max color for the definition,
I do too.
Yeah, you can see the difference, I think.
but
Yeah.
I'm not going to go super size because I don't have that much time.
No, that's the size of my Disney is like a super size.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's the size of TVs.
I think my Disney one might be bigger than that one. It's look at my TV up on the wall here.
I keep telling my kids, I don't have wall space for even a TV like they get.
don't
I'm like,
either,
I don't have wall
but they're-
space.
But they're so fun to stitch. That's the
Yeah.
right. It's the whole
Um, I think it's 3 full coverages finished in my under the box bed. Been a shame. So it was just the process for me. I knew I would.
She's locked up again.
I know she's a froze. She did finish Beloved.
She did. Was that one framed?
Okay, I lost you for a little while there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you were talking about, yeah, we lost you too. So you were talking about the bin of shame and you have some finished in the bin of shame and it's all about a process for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't expect them to get framed. I don't have the wall space to get them framed, to be
Yeah.
honest, especially now. We downsized and barely have wall space for 1 or 2.
A TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I
it's
had-
like,
I had
Yeah.
thought about it. If I ever should get one of them
uh-oh,
finished,
did I lose you guys? Uh-oh.
we're
No.
here. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Uh-oh, did you lose me?
No, we can see
Well,
you.
now you're frozen.
But now you're frozen. See, when we
Oh.
try to do a joint one, it just taxes the universe. I'm not,
Yeah.
I think
it's-
so.
I think it's too much for the universe to take.
I got lost that time, right?
You're
Yeah.
back. I had thought about it. If I ever should get one of them finished, getting it framed with elastic straps on the back or framing it and then making it so it fits over the TV when we're not using the TV. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wow. Yeah.
Make a slip cover for the TV.
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Nothing's ever gonna get finished, so it doesn't matter. I can have all the ideas I want.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The only other whip I have left to show is my chatelaine because it was mushroom made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I guess I should open the whole thing up first. There's no before picture, there's no finished picture. This is where we are. I worked on the tree branches on either side. So everywhere you see brown on the sides, that's where.
Mhm.
Because it was easier. And quite honestly, May's a hard month for me. So chatelaines take a lot of brain width and I
Yeah.
just didn't have it. And so I just picked up this brown is a Gloriana silk in the branches.
Okay.
So I just picked up the
Uh-huh.
brown and kind of went to town on both sides. And in these spaces that you see will be satin stitches.
They're
So
not Smyrna crosses or anything, just satin,
they're
straight
just
satin.
satin stitches. Like if you, I'll pull this up. If you look in the down one here, it's just, there's spaces of just satin stitches.
I like the dimensions that all these specialty stitches give to these
I do too.
chatelaines.
No critiquing those of you at home, my specialty stitches, because this is a process for me. So if you know how to do these things perfectly, I don't want to hear about it. But yes, I enjoy working on it. It's just May's a tough month. So when I start making plans in May, I almost kick myself. Well, what are you doing? Like just
Yeah.
stitch
Mhm.
on what you want to stitch on and get through the month for crying out loud. But
Yeah. I
make-
stopped doing a lot of those planning things because I just either find myself not sticking to them or pressured to stick to them. And I just usually when I do that, I put down things that I have goals for, and then that's the pressure. And then I don't do it. And so I find I'm just better off to just stitch what I want to stitch.
Yeah.
And if I get to it, I get to it.
I know, I think someday I'm gonna learn, do you know what I mean? Like not to do that, but for some reason, somebody, Amy Loves Toad said mushroom May, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Pressure.
But I like the sale. I have no reasonable expectation I'm gonna keep up with that. I'm just gonna print out the patterns when they come out and shove them in the bag. And when I feel like working on it, it's gonna get worked on, period.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's like for me too, because that one, it would be good to take to work, but I already have a work project.
Mhm.
And it hasn't been nice enough to sit outside and stitch on it. So that was another plan out the window. So it only got one length of thread in it, but anything is progress.
Yeah, historically for me, my shadowing gets way more work in July. And then again for my December break from school. That's when I pull it out and I have hours and hours to spend with it. And that's usually when it gets the bulk of its work.
You have a visitor.
Yes. Here, okay. Old grows ups here. I told Gail, I said I have my old cat in here, so I didn't want to move her. I felt bad for her. So she's 14.
Mhm.
She might start sneezing though. No sneezing.
I
She's
actually left my dog downstairs because she tends to make a fuss when I'm doing a video.
yeah,
So
really.
I
She
left the
does.
radio on down there. She's fine. The other dog's outside with Todd. So
You have more whips too, right, Tam?
yes, I do. And I hear Gidget barking outside. So
We can't hear her. It's all good.
this is Hatter. Picture is somewhere up in a bag. So you're going to have to guess. But this is Hatter by Gecko Rouge. Well, it's charted by Gecko Rouge, but the artist is Omri Koresh. And
That's
I've
good
been
too.
working up to this line, bringing it across, just typewriter style.
Yep.
And I like it. I really love working on this one. He didn't have a chin before. Now he has a chin.
Yeah. Is there a lot of blocks of color in there, Tina, or no?
There can be. Um, it'd be like working on one of the spines of the books.
Oh,
There's areas where there's good blocks, but then there's a lot of confetti around it.
mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
there'd be a good chunk of one color of orange and then a lot of confetti around it.
Right. His
This
hair
is
is really good.
one color, but yeah, very fun to work on. I like it.
Mhm.
It's 25 count, 2 over 1 half cross.
That's it. Stitching shelves coming back out when we're done. We're all holidays anyway.
Oh my goodness.
I miss it.
Yeah.
I
But I find that if I work on something too long, I'll get tired of it. So I like having a rotation the way I do, the 1,000 stitches and then go on to the next one.
Yeah, I was keeping up with that for a while, and then last month totally threw me off.
Yeah.
Totally threw me off. But it always does. I just need to, know that going into it and stop putting expectations on myself. Because I feel like I lost part of my stitchy bug during May, and I think it was because I had made all these plans and I was feeling like a failure with all the plans.
Right.
So,
Because you see other people making plans and they're able to stick to it. And it's,
and then I have to remind myself, well, she doesn't work.
yeah.
Because some of them we all actually don't work. God love them if you don't have to work. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
if I didn't have to work, I wouldn't work. But I have to stop comparing myself to somebody who doesn't work 40, 50 hours a week,
Yeah.
because the reality is they are going to get more done than I am.
Right. And we will be them one day.
We will.
Hopefully soon.
Some of us sooner than others.
Yeah.
You have another whip?
Yeah, I will share my lunchtime project,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
which this last week didn't get a lot of love, but it is still, it's getting there.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
I don't know when the last time I saw that was, but nowhere near that much was done.
I think this whole side here is new.
I think so
I
too.
think I had just come over here a little bit
Yeah.
because it's been a
Wow.
month since I
Wow.
did a video.
That
Yeah.
looks really good.
And this is um well suited by ink circles, 1 over 1 full cross on 25 count.
Very nice.
Yeah, it calls for Valdani's, but I'm just using DMC and Weeks Dye Works, whatever I had in my stash.
Nice. Very nice. Okay.
And
I have to show
that's it
the
for
finish.
whips.
I have a finish. It was a whip. It's a finish and an FFO.
Yay.
Nice.
I seriously finished this. Was it the evening of my last Flosstube filming? I think it was.
so.
Okay.
Because I had said in my last Flosstube that I wanted, there's something on it. I wanted it done before my last Flosstube, and I did not. I was not able to get it done. And then I got it done that evening. And of course, I've had the frame since I started this piece. I had the thing here. Where'd it go? This is okay. I started August 11th of 21.
Ooh.
And then because I didn't like stitching on perforated paper, this is Tree of Life by Mill Hill.
Mhm.
It went away for a very long time. And then when I was going through my whip parade every year, I'm like, I really need to stitch on that. I really need to stitch on that. And I kept it in my whip basket. I'd never UFO'd it. Because hello, I have a Tree of Life tattooed to my arm. But I just kept wanting to get it done, even though I was dreading the perforated paper every time.
Right.
I just could not stand it. And then my friend Lori, her husband made one of those magnetic frames, and she sent it to me and said, I hope this helps you finish your Mill Hill. And sure enough, I would put it in that magnetic frame. I'd put it in my Lowry, and I'd be able to two-handed stitch, and this thing went like nobody's business after that.
I don't like perforated paper because the needle just drops.
It just drops, it doesn't hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that was hugely frustrating for me. And when I stitch in hand, I do sewing method. Well, you
Right.
can't do that on perforated paper either. So, but I got all the beads in. There are plenty of mistakes in this piece, but you'd
It's
never know it.
You
personalized.
never know. You never see it.
Yeah, and the beads are in. This is not the color frame that this is supposed to be printed in is not, I can't find it anywhere. But I picked this color and thought
What color is it supposed to be in? It looks nice.
it's more of a red. It's like a maroon,
Oh,
and this is more of a purple.
oh,
Um,
I
it-
like.
it's not a ton different, do you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's different. And the only reason, because the outline of the tree is maroon, that was the color of the frame.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I thought there was enough purple in there to do away with this frame. And I've actually bought this frame at the same time I bought the kit after I couldn't find the other color. So
See, it looks maroon to me.
Me too.
there you go. It's really not, it's more of a maroony purple.
Well, I think it really frames it nice.
So it's a lot like this.
yeah. Actually, mine looks more maroon than yours does.
Yeah.
But yes. But I think it looks good. It's been sitting in my
Me
living
too.
room next to the pillow you made me, Gail, on my sewing machine. And
Okay.
the only thing I don't like about these frames is, this is how they stand, if you guys don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So it's windy here in the spring and summer,
yeah.
and this tips over an awful lot.
Second.
Yeah. So I have to figure out what to do with it. Maybe I need to put it up on a shelf higher. Oh, good idea. One of those.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I would get one of
Yeah.
those.
One of
Get
those.
one big enough
And then
that
you can
it
switch it
holds
out.
it
You don't
in the
have a
wind.
hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it big enough so that it holds it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I got to figure that I'll get one of those and then do it that way, because this has hit the floor a couple times, which really
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
make you happy when you,
No.
Yeah.
but I like it. It's done.
Looks great.
It's in my living room. I have 5 more FFOs.
I have one.
You heard it here first, folks. Who am I?
Wow.
Yeah. This happens like twice a year, just to be clear.
She's in a mood.
I got in a mood. Well, I was sitting there the other day. This comes from being down on my stitching progress for May. And I sat there and said, what actually have I gotten done? What have I gotten done? I've not got anything done. And I'm doing that whole thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've gotten stuff done. Where is it? So I go downstairs and I pull out my pile and I just start framing, because I had ordered a bunch of frames a while ago.
Right.
So I started framing.
No.
Sorry, you're gonna see the glare because I have a dog that's shedding fur like nobody's business, but there you go. There's the owl.
Looks good.
Does.
And is that one, okay, you were talking about the count fabrics.
Yeah, so these summer animals I did on 32 count Baller by Picture This Plus. And I wish I had done all the animals on 32 count.
It fits better in a frame.
Well, not only that, but I just like the size of them. Like here's the eagle. I like the size of them. They were easier to stitch. Sorry about the glare, everybody, but that's as good as it gets. They were easier to stitch because they're on a lower count. I just like the size and the look of them better. Like I look at the ones that I did on 40 count and I'm like, what were you thinking? Why didn't you just stay with, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm starting to like the lower counts better anyway. And I think part of it's my eyes.
Right.
But I also prefer to stitch with 2 strands. So that's part
Yeah.
of it.
I do too.
But the gigantuan pieces, some of them I need to stitch on 40 count because otherwise
Right.
they're gonna take up like big real estate,
Yeah.
you know?
So that would be 40 count over 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. This was Tired Trio from Plum Street Samplers.
That's cute.
I
That's so
actually
cute.
framed this, just so everybody knows, I framed it a little down in the frame because I plan to put something up here. This is gonna go to my
Okay.
daughter for her birthday.
Okay.
So I have a wood cutout that I'm gonna paint and put up here for her.
Okay.
Right.
She likes sloths, so this is going to her. And to be fair, I think I finished this in 23, not in 24.
Right.
Let's see.
Mm. So sweet.
Nice.
This is framed very tight, but I think it's
Mhm.
okay.
Well, I think with the Quakers, I would want it to.
Well, I think
That's
it
the
looks
whole
great.
design of edge of a Quaker is that it's to the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remember we were talking this morning, I don't frame anything permanently. So full disclosure for everybody, this is what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
Because there may become a day when we're traveling a lot more and not living in a stationary house for a period of time. And if there are, I'd like to pop them out of here and store them in the hole. Do you know what I mean? So to protect them. So all of them kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I like,
And for me, that one there, I might have cut off the strip of, because I might have been able to use it for something else.
oh yeah, see, no, I didn't go there.
But
Mainly
well,
because
maybe
it
not.
has the fabric downstairs. If I
Maybe
need
it's not worth
there.
it.
If I
Yeah.
need
If you need it, it's there. You just cut it off.
I'll just
Here,
lop
it's right here.
It's like, wait, I'm making a bookmark or something.
Now you do an ornament. Here we go.
and
Ugh. I have that one. I need to frame it. I
Emily's,
love that frame.
yeah. Look at, you can see the reflection of my light. There we go.
I love that
The
frame. Though.
Walmart frame.
I gotta go look at some frames.
And was that one designed to fit in a standard frame? Because I know some people design them specifically for regular frames.
No, I know that I stitched mine on 36 count.
I'm trying to think what
But
I
you know
stitched
what I
mine on.
mean, right? Like it's the
Yes.
dimension, like whether you go 8x10 or 11x14, it's just the
Mhm.
dimension of it that
Yep.
would change.
Yep. I don't remember if this one was designed for a specific size or
I
not.
don't think there.
But it
I
fits
think she
really
might
nicely in
have.
this one.
I think she might have because I know on a lot of her projects she does think of that.
It does try to design
Mhm.
in easily accessible frame sizes.
Yeah.
But I happened to find this one at one of our local Walmarts, and I think it looks great.
I need to go through all of mine, measure them, write it down in a little notebook, and keep it with me. So when I'm out and I see frames, I
And
really
that
need to organize myself that way.
and that's
Because I
what
do see frames sometimes when I'm out, like I'm going
yeah.
to
And
Hobby
that
Lobby
was one of the
buying
tips
more
that Stephanie
buying
had
something.
was
And I'm
Yeah,
to
looking at the
have them.
frames and thinking, but I don't know if that's going to fit. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
That's what you're right. That's what Stephanie said on one of her Flosstube
Yes.
was she has a
Mhm.
list. I have
Yeah.
it on notes in my phone. So in my phone in notes, I have a frame note that says all the
Ooh,
size
maybe
frames.
that'll be better. I'll just put it in my phone
Yeah.
So I have used that.
in notes.
I should do
Where
that
my
too.
passwords are.
Because I'll just go to yard sales and just pick up frames. I haven't been any yard sales this year.
Oh, I
at all.
haven't been. I think I went to one last year. It's been a while since we've done like you said, going to yard sales, but I don't see them that much anymore either around here.
It's funny because I have a frame hanging up here with just I took I don't know where I got the frame, but it's a metallic
Mhm.
frame and I hung rope across it and it's got pictures on it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, that might fit Queen of Freedom.
The pictures are coming down.
Yep. Not yet. It'll be years before that's done. I mean, come on.
Right.
Sorry, I was frozen there for a bit.
That's
It's
okay.
okay.
We were just talking about, I have a picture frame hanging right up here in front of me where I hung rope and then there's pictures like clipped to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that might fit Queen of Freedom. So,
Maybe.
but it's years down the road, so we'll see.
Right.
Gail, you have an FFO.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was I think since my last, no, I did start it before. Yeah, I did because it was, so this is by Satsuma Street, Funky Chickens.
Yep.
And so I did this chicken. And she did it on like 1428 count. And I was like, oh, I don't have any of that. So I want to do it on a 18. Oh boy, I'm never doing that again. But I did fully finish it. Here's my little chicken.
Cute.
Oh,
It's
that's
still
cute.
cute, Gail. I know you're very critical of it, but it's cute.
And then of course, you know, it says, what the clock? My life has been right now with worry. But I do like it. It really turned out cute. So
Yeah. I think it's
I will do another one, but I will definitely, I think not Ada, even though this was a soft Ada, you can see this was a very squishy, soft Ada. I would do it with a Lugana because it would just, it's just hard with Ada to get those to sit nicely like this. It doesn't quite want to, you know, pull in. So
Mhm.
That's what I feel like I might have a problem with the book cell, the
Yeah.
cover data.
but it's just the cover. It's not like, I don't think we
Yeah.
have to have anything neat like a Biscornu or something.
Right. Yeah, it's not like the
I mean,
inside
this
cover
did
is.
do pretty good here, but I really had trouble on the back. But that's also where there's a seam allowance there that it just wasn't working,
Right.
you know? So, yeah. Chicken. I'll
I
make
think
another one.
I think it's so funny how we stitch things that give us therapy, and that what the clock certainly gave you therapy.
It did.
Yeah.
It was bright colors. It was real easy stitch. It was fun stitch. It was kind of, you know, you could get into it and yet be out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did that what the clock first. I could keep looking at it. What the clock.
Something to focus on.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Tina, do you want to venture into your under the bed box?
Sure. I know I've shown this before, but you were talking about it this morning. I can't remember if you said you had it started or was going to start it.
The Circle of Friends.
Circle of Friends.
Look at
Not
that.
have it started yet, but I so want to.
And I did a color conversion for the flowers.
Oh.
Maybe I showed this on the last one when we were together, or maybe just a Sunday stitch.
I may
But-
look at you for the conversion of those flowers. And I am stitching this. I'm going to give them all gray hair.
Okay,
So I need to figure out that conversion too.
right.
Mhm.
Because all of us, my sisters and I, have gray hair.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really
this was a me and my sisters kind of thing too, because I have two sisters as well.
I have two sisters.
Yeah,
Oh, we all have two sisters.
that's interesting. I'm the
Mhm.
oldest.
I am
I'm
the
the
oldest. I don't think we knew that about each other, did we?
I don't think we've ever talked about that. Wow.
I knew
Wow.
we all had two sisters because we've talked about that, but I did not realize that we were all the oldest. It explains a lot.
It does, right? It's like,
Wow.
wow. I know that really is kind of
That
wow.
explains a lot about why we get along so well right there.
I think so too. We're all that personality.
Everybody that's watching is like, oh, hysterically laughing right now because all of our faces did the same thing. We were like, what?
Ah,
Oh, that was very good.
I love that. What fabric
yeah,
is it on, Tina?
this is actually called for. This was before I ventured too far into mixing things up. I changed the flowers because my grandfather had a thing about daisies,
Mhm.
right? Those were his favorite flowers for whatever reason. And my uncle, when my grandpa passed away, they were trying to decide what kind of flowers to put at his funeral, all of that kind of stuff. And somebody had suggested daisies, and he has a temper, and he got really upset, and he's like, "Oh, that's so funny, pushing up daisies, ha 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 ha," right? He walked out of the room, right? And the girls went in after him and said, "If you don't want daisies, we won't get daisies. That's fine, right? We'll get something else." And so they went to the flower store, and he's standing by the flowers, and he goes, "How about these? These were Dad's favorite." And they're like, "Armand, those are daisies." He was thinking of dandelions,
Oh, God.
Oh.
right? Yeah. So
Uh,
so yeah, I tried to make them as close to daisies as I could.
They look good. I
They
like
do.
I'm gonna have to go for a deeper background color for the gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that on a, like you said, on a darker fabric,
Mhm.
deeper.
Right. I'm thinking that my fabric will be in the browner not brown, but do you know what I mean? Tan
Mhm.
category because,
Natural.
yeah, because of the gray hair. The gray hair is gonna dictate a lot, I think.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've never converted hair before, so this ought to be interesting.
Yep.
Sorry, I hear the dogs. So I'm going to ask my husband to come and get her.
What we go through to film Flosstubes. So
Right.
since that just came up, I don't know if you guys saw it. Do you guys follow the camping stitcher?
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think so.
she posted something on Instagram about how she has seen a lot of meanness and rudeness on Flosstube, and
Oh, I
um,
didn't see that.
for everybody to keep in mind how much work it takes for people to put themselves out
Oh,
there and to make a
Yep.
floss tube. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
right.
Kind of the same thinking.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
nerve-wracking
judge.
to put yourself out there like this. And I don't know. I'm hoping. I have not been getting negative comments on my floss tube as of late. So I think I've preached on that soapbox enough that people are getting the hint from me. I haven't had to delete comments in a long time. But I'm encouraging everybody's watching to just think about that when you're watching a floss tube. If you don't like what they're doing, just press next.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Fast forward, see
Just
if you
press
like
next.
it.
Go
I
by.
do it if I'm watching somebody and I either don't want to be enabled or I'm not really interested in what they're working on right now. I just hit next. I like the video and hit
Yes.
next. I like
Yeah.
the video because it's taking them time to put the video out there.
I appreciate it.
And then I'll just hit the next and I don't
Yeah.
have to comment on anything. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think people feel like they need to have an opinion about everything, and my channel is not the space for that. Just putting
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Editing
that.
at a minimum or a maximum. Do whatever you have the time for.
Yeah, like,
Right.
yeah, just you do you, and we'll
Mhm.
respect each other, and
Yeah,
it is what it is.
for
But
sure.
anyway,
I know there's some people who have given up on doing Flosstube because of negative comments.
well,
Yes.
and you two both know I was at that point. I've been at that point a couple times over the last couple years where I almost gave up on it, and just because it's a pain and it's emotional when people start posting crap on your channel. And um I am under no illusion that everybody's going to like me, nor do I care that everybody like me. But when somebody puts something on your floss tube directly criticizing what you're doing, that it's just not necessary. like move on.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind
I
of,
think it's just, I think non-floss tubers don't realize the amount of time, effort, and emotion, like you said, that goes into the anxiety to put
Yeah.
on a floss tube, especially if you're doing one by yourself. So I still have a hard time every time. I get very nervous trying to do one by myself. This is
Right.
a lot easier.
Yeah.
well, and I think because we talk about it all the time, the stitching is our therapy. So that's a personal
Right.
care of us that we're putting out there. And sometimes stories come along with our stitching. You know, I'm quite open about I'm stitching on this because, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If it is a story behind it, because I firmly believe that might help somebody else come in touch with why they're stitching what they're stitching on. You know what I mean? And understanding the value of that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think
And
that there's a level of vulnerability that people just aren't aware of that don't do it.
And then
Yep.
being consistent and trying to do it every week, every 2 weeks or whatever, it's very hard for me because I am working
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I have like next week's going to be a very hard week on me physically
Right.
and spiritually because I just know I have to, I'm scheduled the way I'm scheduled. It's going to be very hard. And so it's to get motivated to do a floss tube. I
Yeah.
mean, I try to get motivated just to stitch.
Yeah. That's why it took
Mhm.
me so long to do a video with, I don't think I've done one in May at all. I did one with my sister
Yeah.
and then this one because you get sick, you're just tired, you don't feel motivated enough to do it. And then it's like, oh, but I'm doing one next week. I'll just save it.
Right. I know I did too. I was like, I'll just wait. I'll just wait.
Well, and then let's be honest, the mess you have to clean up after you do
Oh, I know, right? Well,
Yeah.
in my floss tubes, you see me literally go, okay, on the floor it goes, up on the
So
floor it goes. And then that whole floor is like, I gotta clean it all up.
I think
Yeah.
I think right after this video, I'm going to take a picture of this desk area and I'm going to post it in my community tab on YouTube so that people, when they watch this video, we can say, hey, look in the community tab because Mimi Stitchery is going to post you a picture of the mess
Right.
after a floss.
Yeah. I'll try to do the same.
I will. Because, well, it's like, this is my crazy area anyway,
Yeah.
but I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And my old cat, you know.
Actually, this I did pretty easy. I took everything out of the bag, at this time. I was like, oh, let's do that.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, what else is in your under the bed box, Tina? We get to start.
Well, here's another one. Another Mirabilia because Mira May. So I thought,
Mhm.
Oh, that's pretty.
Mhm.
this is Wherefore Art Thou, which was a mystery release in 3 parts.
Oh,
And I mean, from the title, you knew it was going to be Romeo and Juliet related, right?
Right.
But this is almost exclusively over-dyed floss.
Wow.
And that's where I got my start in the collecting over-dyed, was kidding this.
Mhm.
And this is the special bead that came with it.
Oh, gotcha. Very pretty.
Supposed to hang from her hand
okay.
whenever I, eventually frame it.
It's beautiful.
It is. That one is
Thank you.
pretty.
And I was going to show this. I did do a tiny bit of beading on Dressmaker's Daughter. You mentioned it earlier.
I know.
There's a
That-
lot of beads. All
Yeah.
of these bands here, beads, and that's just autumn.
Wow.
Wow.
That one is finished. And the other two not touched for beads yet.
Mm. So
Okay.
pretty. So pretty.
Those
Yeah.
headless ones again.
Mhm.
What's that?
I said those headless ones again.
Yeah.
Those ones really are headless though.
I know. When I kept thinking, she was like, I just follow the. I don't mind the headless. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Uh,
those look great though. They're beautiful.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people don't like doing mirabilias because they're just fancy ladies in fancy poses and they're not realistic. And it's like, but you know what I think of when I think of those? Glamour shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a glamour shot photo.
yeah. Yeah,
Like the way you get a portrait.
I remember back in the day saying that I would never stitch a mirabilia and I would never stitch a chatelaine.
I never said
And here we
Chatelaine.
are.
Mm-hmm.
I really am not a fancy lady type. Notice the Jeep t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is me.
I'm not going to no balls anytime
Mhm.
soon.
Well, I don't wear makeup. Yeah.
I don't wear a
Right.
ton, and I definitely don't wear much since my reaction last year that you guys know about. But
Mhm.
sorry, motorcycle just went by. But I don't know. There's something about stitching them that just makes me happy.
Yeah.
I view them as art. They are
Right.
art. And I think all stitching is art to a
Mhm.
degree. I just, for me, so for somebody else, it will be different. For me, the fancy ladies and the chatelaines take that art to a whole nother
Okay.
game.
Yeah, it's like those designer dresses. They're,
Yeah.
feathers and ruffles all over the place. Are you ever going to see that in every day? No.
Never gonna see that down at the diner.
No.
Well, I see what I understand now about doing a mirabilia. There is a certain challenge to it with the way that it's charted because of all the blending and shadowing. Like you said, that's an art, and seeing that come to life. The beading, the especially flosses, like the
Yeah.
Krynic, that kind of thing. It just seeing all of that, and I like the challenge. I do
Yeah.
like that challenge.
And it's extra challenging because it's paper only.
Right.
Unless you are, technologically capable of taking a picture and putting it into Pattern Keeper. I haven't been able to make it work. I'm
I
fine with
not
making a
either
photocopy.
on the Miras. Now Chatelaine is coming a long way with their PDF patterns. I did get Mushroom and Fern into Pattern Keeper. But I think Pattern Keeper has changed what they're doing, and that's why the chatelaine pattern is going in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Because
Because
they're
for a couple of years, I was
different.
trying and trying and trying, and it wouldn't go in. And then all of a sudden, a few months ago, it went in. So, because I just keep trying, which is making the chatelaine easier for the X's. Now, that being
Yeah.
said, it does not show the specialty stitches. It does not show backstitch. It does show the beading though, like the numbers of the beads.
Yeah.
So there's still work to be done there, but it has made it much easier with the X's to be able to use Pattern Keeper. Um, and it has trouble checking off like half stitches or quarter stitches. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't really complete those stitches on Pattern Keeper either.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And the shadowing, you know what I mean? So there's still tweaking that needs to be done, but at least I can biggie size it. I can increase the size so I'm not
Right.
struggling to see the symbol, because a lot of times my um, tablet is on a table that's a little bit away from me, so I can enlarge it and I can look at it closer for those quarter stitches or half stitches and the 1/1, because every insect on the mushroom and fern is 1/1.
Yeah.
So it has made those things a ton easier. And I'm all about using your tools. I'm like that with my stitching. I'm like that with my knitting. Like I have something going on with my sweater right now, and I ordered new knitting needles to deal with it
Right.
because I
Mhm.
like the higher end knitting needle, and I'm trying to do it with a cheap knitting needle and it's dragging. You know what I mean? It's all about the tools.
Right.
It is. It is. And I realized that on my mirabilia, on my little mag that's on the side, there's 3 needles. I have 3 needles on there. There's one for the floss, and then there's one for the Krynic, or I'm using Petite Treasure
Yep.
Brace, and then there's one for the
Right.
beading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
You know,
Same.
it's like, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'll have 2 or 3 needles on the chatelaine because sometimes I just wanna, I'm not quite finished with that color. I'll
Mhm.
leave the needle with the thread on it over to the side, work on another color, and then go
Okay.
in. Okay, now I
Yep,
move
same,
over there.
same. I do the same.
I might be trying to do something like that with the other aid because if I have that color on it, like you said, on the needle, and I've got to, because they're so close together in color that
Shade.
it's hard to determine, did I do that color? So to be able to just keep going back and forth with the needles. I think I might try that.
Yeah,
You
see, I
get mixed
park,
up though.
yeah,
Gotta be careful.
yeah. I park and then on my paper pattern, so when I use a paper pattern, like for the mirrors, if I park a thread, I circle that square in pencil.
Okay.
When I park a thread, I use yellow. That's the
Oh,
only
there you
time I
go.
use yellow,
Okay.
is for parking.
Yeah.
And
So
then
That's a
when
good
I'm,
thought.
when I'm finished it, I just color it over with the regular color.
And you
Because on
always,
my memorabilia,
yeah,
this is for beads, this is for floss. I'm serious. I have it like, and I marked it on my
Yeah.
thing so that I know which one I'm doing.
Well,
everybody
see,
has their own method. It's all, everybody needs to do what works for them.
and
Right.
for me, I use a different color highlighter when I bring it out to work on. So you're gonna see the chart just briefly. But so
Okay.
that's old, that's new, right? So I
I've
can,
done that
you
on a
know,
couple of my
pat
others that
myself
are
on the
more
back.
monochromatic. I do it on my monochromatic so I could see, like you said, I could see how much I've done.
I
Yep.
did that with Lost No More on the paper pattern before I got the electronic copy into Pattern Keeper. I did what you did, Tina. I had so many 10 by 10 squares I needed to get done in a day, and I would switch colors between days.
Right,
Mhm.
And that kept me motivated to see how much I got done in a day and how it added up.
yeah, yeah. And I don't count, but I can tell from this that I did probably 600 stitches.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I don't know. I think that's the great thing about listening to other floss tubers and listening to what they do. And then you get ideas like
Oh,
this,
yes.
because everybody has that project that's not working for them, right? Something about it's not working for them and they're not stitching on it. And I remember the first time I watched, I don't remember who it was. I almost think it was Lindy Stitches. She didn't like the fabric she was on. She had like a quarter of the pattern done and she ditched it and restarted on different fabric because in her words, life's too short to stitch on something you're not enjoying.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that made me start switching fabrics. If I didn't like this fabric, I just
Mhm.
switch it out. I do something else. Or like with modern folk embroidery, I didn't like the colors. So Gail says to me, well, pick your own.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
did. It's one of my favorite projects. And it was a joy to stitch then because you're enjoying it. So
Right.
I just think that everybody has their own tastes, their own styles of stitching, their own style, their own learning abilities. You know what I mean? How people learn,
And
how people
and
enjoy.
nobody's wrong.
No.
Right. And I think all of this is like a journey, just like with the quilting, from where I started quilting to what I did 30 years later, very different. And I
Yeah.
see that even in my stitching now, what I did 4 years ago and what I'm doing now is very different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I
Like
agree.
there's things in the under the bed box that I stitched when my kids were little, but I would never put them up.
No.
I stitched there's a
I have one.
carousel horses by Stony Creek. I was into it then,
Yeah.
not anymore.
More.
But I also see the difference where cross stitches come. And I know a lot of people have talked about it, and that's what excited me to get me back into cross stitch was the different flosses, the over dyes, the specialty flosses, the
The
different
fabrics.
fabrics. Oh my gosh, the fabrics
used to be just eight-
alone was a game changer
White
for me.
Ada, white
Yeah.
and off-white or
Well,
black, I think.
except for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it should, or a little like, but yes, it was like, oh my gosh, it just changed everything for me. And the different designs. Wow. There's
There's a lot.
There's a
there's like
lot.
something out there for everybody.
And there's
Yeah.
a lot,
Whether you want to stitch goth or you
Yeah.
want to stitch mirrors or you want to stitch, you know, full coverage. I mean, there's something out there for everybody.
yeah, I agree, totally agree. There is so much out there that if you can't find something you like to stitch, I think you're not looking hard enough, because
Right.
you go on Etsy and put in one word and you've got a million results. You
Well,
know,
just
Yeah.
looking at, you know, seeing everybody doing the mirrors, and I would see some that I would think, oh, well, that's really pretty. Oh, that's really pretty. So I just went and looked to see, and that's when I found Woods Goddess. And I mean, that's me. That's my
Right.
kind of stuff.
yeah, full disclosure, that's why I'm slower to watch Flosstube now. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Too much enabling.
Yeah, too much enabling. I need to get some things done. But I think we are over an hour.
I think so.
To hit our uploads and make them not a pain in the butt, because those of us that do Flosstube know once you get over an hour, uploading becomes a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today.
Yeah.
This
I
has
hope
been
you
super
found-
fun. It is always fun, and
I know. It's always fun.
it's crazy that we all get up as early as we do on Sunday. We're still willing to get back on Sunday afternoon to do a Flosstube.
Right? We're like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't get it, but it works. It works. So
Yeah.
I'm not putting anything in my drop down box, so don't go
Mhm.
looking for anything. Nothing will be
Okay.
there. Are you guys planning to put anything in your drop
Yeah.
I
down?
just have a bunch of things, like I just copy paste from the last one. These are the
So
projects.
Tina's got all the info for her stuff.
Right.
You'll have to follow their other videos to find those information.
Yeah. And for
Yeah.
those of you watching me now, there'll be 2 videos going up today. There'll be this one, and then there'll be my knitting progress will go up on a separate video.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody have a great day.
Yeah.
Be kind to
Yep.
each other, and only good
Take
stuff
care.
in the comments, people.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. See ya.
Okay.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
See you.